All set.
All right. Well, that's a good teamwork there. Everybody settled at the right moment. We're going to say at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, April 3rd, we're going to bring the school board meeting to its beginning. Give me 1 second here. You're okay on the video and sound?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a roll call. We have work disruptions to our attendance. The board, at least on the few years that I've been on it, has had exemplary attendance. We have a new board member, Carrie Claus, who is on a work trip in Germany that was scheduled before she ran for the board. She wants to be here. There's a letter from her to get some insight in a few minutes. That's why Carrie isn't here. That we knew that when she ran, and so she sends her greetings, and you'll hear from her directly. Scott will read the letter. Ed Anderson is the police chief in Goshen, and his select board requested his presence at a meeting tonight. When you have a police chief, he's only missed a couple meetings. It's been because of police chief stuff. That's why we don't have the other member. So we're down to 3 as a quorum. So it's going to be a shorter roll call as we make our way around. So if we want to start, Kelly, so we work our way all the way around and never miss anybody, could you start roll call?
Russell, the superintendent.
Jesse Tyler, school board.
Scott Ritzman, school board.
Andy Nichols, school board.
Kate O'Connor, board secretary. Karen Kier, director of student services. Jody Bergen, principal, Sunapee Central Elementary School.
Megan Mead, assistant principal, 7 Mills.
Sean Moynihan, principal, Sunapee Middle.
Thank you. For the handful of folks that just joined us, I just want to repeat for everybody that was already here. We have one new board member that is in Germany for a work trip that was planned before she ran. You're going to hear a letter from her. And Ed Anderson has police chief duties, which is why he's not here. He almost never misses meetings. So there leaves us 3 that you see before you, so that we're all on the same page. You want to go ahead and read Carrie's letter at this point, so they can hear from her? Do it nice and loud, if you would. With
Nice and loud. This is from Carrie Klaus, one of our 2 newest board members. Dear SAU board members, administrators, and community members, before I properly introduce myself, please accept my sincere apologies for being absent for my first and very important SAU board meeting. I am unfortunately in Germany at a work engagement that was arranged prior to my decision to run for a position on the board. With that out of the way, allow me to share a little bit about myself. I am relatively new to the Sunapee area and have been here for just over a year and a half now. My husband and I were looking for a change of lifestyle and decided to pick up and move our family of 5 from North Carolina to the New England area. We landed in Sunapee mostly by chance, but this has quickly come to feel like home, and we are very appreciative for our experiences thus far. We have quickly developed a love for this town, the school, the people, and the New Hampshire area in general. From a professional standpoint, I have been working for the same company, Parexel, for almost 22 years now. We are a contract research organization that supports pharmaceutical and biotech companies to run their clinical trial studies. While my job affords me the opportunity to work from home, which most of the time means starting my day in my PJs, it is nonetheless a very challenging but rewarding job that has afforded me the opportunity to seek out and gain new experiences, travel to foreign countries, and most importantly, it has allowed me the opportunity to choose where I want to live while still being able to maintain my professional career. We have 3 children in the SAU district, all in the middle high school. Our experience with the school here has been extremely positive and has far exceeded our expectations in so many ways. I continue to be fascinated by the enthusiasm and the engagement of our community. The extent to which I see so many putting themselves forward to volunteer, to support, and to help in a big or small way is really inspiring and part of the special sauce that I believe makes Sunapee the unique place it is. Thus, my desire to be part of the community fabric in Sunapee. Through my involvement with the school board, I hope to help contribute in a positive way to the evolution and future of what we collectively are driving towards as educators and influencers for the betterment of our next generation. Thank you, and I will look forward to joining you all in person next month. Sincerely, Carrie Claus.
Thanks for reading that. So she sends her, she'll be here to speak to you next month as planned. Before Pledge of Allegiance, could we have a quick intro with our other newest board member, Andy? Just a quick intro for folks that don't already know you, just a little bit about your background.
Sure. Andy Nichols. I've been a resident in town since 1998. I grew up in town. I'm a local business owner, and I hope to bring some of my experiences from that into this board and see if we can move forward in a positive direction.
Thanks. So we covered Carrie, Andy, Ed. Do you want to just do a level set on what you do for a living, what your expertise is that you bring to the board?
Sure. You know, like Carrie, I'm relatively new here. This is, I think, the fifth school year that my family's been here, and we've got a daughter in 5th grade and a son in 10th grade. And, you know, again, Mayor Carey's comments about the experiences we've had, and I would also agree that our expectations have been exceeded, and that's, you know, relative to experiences in 2 other public school systems before coming here. And so I think I have a lot of the same motivations and desires that she does to, you know, give back. For my professional work, I'm with a public accounting firm with 5 offices and about 50 employees and partners, and I am the administrative partner, and I also look over our internal, controllership duties. And so it's a very busy time of the year right now, but only about 10 days left in tax season. So I'll be a much happier camp here in a couple of weeks.
Nice, thanks. And then Jesse Tyler, I've worked at Hypertherm for over 12 years. I work on the HR team and associate experience, so I do all of the new hire onboarding and cultural immersion, do a lot with employee ownership, New Hampshire's largest employee-owned company, and a bunch of other duties, but that's decision-making forums. I run a lot of meetings. That's what I bring, some of what I bring to the board. So we could transition to Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So we have reorganization. So we've got a few things to cover here. So we are going to need, first, we need a chair. Do I have a motion? What's that?
I will nominate you to continue your duties as chair.
Okay,
And I will second that.
all right.
Thank you.
Seconded, motion by Scott, seconded by our truncated number of able attendees tonight. So any further discussion to have?
Thank you.
I'm happy to do it, and I enjoy it, even though some of my friends question that.
For any of you who don't know, Jesse has shown an extremely high level of commitment, and the hours that he's put into this thing in the last year are unbelievable. So thank you for your service.
Proud to serve, thanks. So we have chair, and I think I get to make this one for vice chair. Coming right back in your direction, Mr. Ritzman.
I think Ed wants to.
Oh, sorry. See, I need to work on my process. Thank you. Hey, everybody, if I'm going too fast, too slow, call me out. And if I miss the critical part of actually completing a process, please, I'm working on it. Thank you for calling me out. So, all in favor my being chair, say aye.
Aye.
And then it's nice for the folks, we got quite a few people watching, if you don't mind, when you say aye, they can
Aye.
see, and then if there's, it's not unanimous, they can tell, or talk it out, just helps a little bit. So, so all in favor, I accept the chairship for this year. Now looking at vice chair, I nominate Scott Ritzman to be vice chair.
I'll second that.
Discussion? You're surrounded.
I've been ambushed, I guess.
So, all in favor of Scott Ritzman as vice chair?
Aye.
Aye. Do you have a vote?
Aye.
All right, so unanimous. All right, so then we got to look at committee assignments. So the school board has capital improvement, or CIP, finance, negotiations, policy, and facilities, SCS facilities. So Russ had sent an email out checking board members, what new board members wanted to do, and if existing members wanted to. So the board members for the capital improvement this year are myself and Andy Nichols, with Scott Ritzman as alternate. You guys confirming this? I don't think we have to be formal on this part of it, it's just confirming. Finance, Ed Anderson, Scott Ritzman, Carrie is an alternate, and I'm an alternate. So we have an alternate for each. We can't have 3 at each, because then it's a quorum and it's a board meeting and it's no longer a subcommittee meeting. So when life happens like tonight, we have ourselves organized to be able to just step in to support, so there's always at least 2 of us there. Negotiations, Ed Anderson and Carrie Claus, and I am the alternate. Policy, Scott Ritzman, Carrie Claus, Ed Anderson is the alternate. And the committee, hang on one second. Give me 1 second on the SCAS, that's in actions. I can do that. Yeah, we could do this now as a motion. So, Andy and I are on the SCS subcommittee. We've had to meet 3 times before this meeting tonight because of issues with both buildings that we're going to share with you and that you have in your hands. The subcommittee has discussed taking a broader view for more of a CIP for buildings and fields. So I need a motion, I'm looking to you, Andy, on this, motion to dissolve the SCES Facilities Committee and then replace it with the
You don't have to replace it.
Oh, no, we're moving up to, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't have it in my notes here. So the capital improvement is going to cover, it's going to absorb the work on the elementary school like we talked about, but then we can have all broader view of both buildings and the fields.
Mm-hmm.
So can I get a motion to dissolve the SCES Facilities Subcommittee?
I'll make a motion to dissolve the SCS Facilities Subcommittee.
I'll second Andy's motion.
Okay, so discussion. I guess I kind of did it preemptively, but any questions from you? Questions or comments from you guys about it? All right, so we're going to dissolve that, and then all of that work will be absorbed by the Capital Improvement Committee, which is Andy, myself, with Scott as the alternate. All right, so with those well seconded, no more discussion, all in favor of dissolving the SCES subcommittee? Aye. All right. Committee. All right, now we are going to move to approval of board meeting minutes. So the first one we have is the March 6th, 2019 school board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the March 6th school board meeting.
All right, I will second those because I was the only one here who was there. So we don't have, we've got two of three, so.
Positive vote on your form.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure I'm processing, I'm trying to keep it super tight. Motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes, any corrections, changes, anything like that? Okay, all in favor of approving the March 6, 2019 board meeting minutes? Aye. Aye. Unanimous? All right, next in the list. Minutes of the March 20th, 2019 SCES Subcommittee meeting. We got together as a subcommittee, and in that meeting, decided to dissolve it, but we still have the meeting minutes that are shared with you now, so we need to do those first. Andy, as the fellow board member in attendance, I'm just trying to keep the formality. If some people tease me on that, I don't mind at all, but could you name the minutes in the motion, the meeting minutes?
Motion to approve the what was it again?
The SCES Subcommittee meeting minutes.
SCES Subcommittee meeting minutes.
Do I have a second?
I'll
second it, because I was there. Second. So any discussion? Minutes pretty straightforward, talks about what we're doing, who was there. All in favor of approving those minutes for March 20th?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Minutes of the March 21st, 2019 CIP committee meeting. This was the next morning. We had a meeting to go over the HVAC issues and meet with Honeywell, which we're going to talk more about in a minute. So, motion to approve the minutes of the March 21st CIP committee meeting.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes for the CIP committee meeting for March 1st.
Okay, second, because I was there. Questions or comments, Scott? Discussion? All right, we're starting to get some momentum. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes? Aye, unanimous. Once more with gusto. Next up was the March 28th CIP committee meeting minutes. Can I get a motion? I'm going to make it my own. I can make my own motion, then you can second it. Minutes, I motion to approve the minutes from the CIP committee from March 28th.
I'll second it.
Comments, questions, discussion? Okay, pretty straightforward. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we got the hang of it. Agenda review. I didn't have any additions or subtractions or anything that coming from administration. Okay. Public forum in accordance with policy BDHS, copies available. That's 3 minutes per person, 15 minutes total. We have that again at the end of the meeting as well. Does the public want to speak at this first opportunity? Seeing poker face or poker player faces, I'm going to move us forward. Presentation about the preschool from Amanda Bullock, please. Come on down. Good pacing.
It's slowing me down.
It'll come.
There it is.
being archaeologists, and there was mud, and they were searching to see what they could find from the winter. They found some plastic recess toys that they called fossils. So it's amazing what happens in that little brief period. Then we come in, we unpack and settle in, and then we go right into those work centers that we were talking about. So what those are is we have 3 work centers, one run by me, one run by a rehabilitative assistant, and then one run by either a speech language pathologist or an occupational therapist. I do lesson planning for these, so I send out at the beginning of the year my units for the entire year. So if we're working on polar animals right now, then the speech language pathologist is using Boardmaker to do polar animal sounds. I'm doing an art and craft activity incorporating their name and letters. The rehab assistant is reading a book on polar animals. So it's really cool that they get 10 minutes rotate all around. We then go into a morning meeting, which we do Go Noodle, if any of you have heard of it. It's a pretty cool movement activity, and they love doing that. And then we get in our basic, they have to sign in, so they actually use our smart board for our entire morning meeting. They have to drag their name from being at home to at school, and then we count how many people are there. We do calendar, all of that, but it's all on our smart board, which I found is highly motivating for this age group. We then go into snack. Something really cool is each month they make their own placemats for snack based on our theme for the month. And then we go into choice time, or as a lot of people like to call it, playtime. So that's where that authentic building for blocks happens. Or, for instance, in this picture, I brought in mud when we were doing the farm animal unit, and I threw a bunch of farm animals in, and they needed to clean the farm animals. So here they're washing with a toothbrush the farm animals. And then we go into a group lesson, which is often a read aloud or a science experiment or exploring different things. One thing we've been doing right now is writing storybooks, so they are all in a group. And today we had our first published authors, so they thought that was pretty cool. They took their author pictures, and it's just really great to see them not necessarily reading their story, but since they've written it, they use a lot of the language and tell the story, even though it's not exactly what's written on the page, which is huge in the behaviors. And then we all get together and pack up, and we actually get to experience unified arts. So we go to PE, music, library, we have a technology time, we go to art, and then we also do a book buddies program with first grade on one of the days. So it gives the kids kind of a brief taste of what unified arts is going to look like, and it is another transition during the day, which with young ones, the transition piece is sometimes a really hard thing to master. And then they go, boom. So that's our day in a nutshell, and as you can see, in 3 hours, we get a lot in. So for enrollment this year, we actually grew as a preschool. We started off the year with 9 students, and then in December came to our attention that there was a need in the community for additional preschool, and we didn't have the spots in the morning, so we actually, I think we made the decision like December 18th and started an afternoon program January 7th. We went from 9 students to now we have 19 students enrolled in our preschool. 12 of these students attend in the morning on various schedules, and then we have 7 students in the afternoon. We're already looking at enrollment for next year. We have 10 spots that we've given, and paperwork is due back. And with that, I still have 6 on the waiting list. From past experience, we usually get some people still wanting to apply closer to summer. So right now we have 16, and I bet that number will grow. even if it's getting them in touch with Pathways, which does ages 0 to 3, or getting them ready to come see us at age 3. Another cool thing that we did is we sent out a survey to that mailing list to see what the community needs are for preschool in our community. From that mailing, we got 23 responses. 48% of the respondents said that they need a full day preschool or childcare program, and 52% said that a half day is all they would want in a preschool program. So, highlighting that early intervention and identification, we perform a child find screen every year. And what that is we advertise to the community or reach out to families that we know. And it's myself, our occupational therapist, our physical therapist, and our speech language pathologist. And we do a quick screen that's standardized so we can give parents information, and also for us, like, is your child in need of services to help close the gap with their typical peers? Already from some of this community outreach that we've done, we know we have 7 students that we need to screen for next year. So one thing that we're developing is doing a fall and a spring screening. And what that is say you have a 2.5-year-old in speech services right now with Pathways. We want that child at age 3. So we will actually start working with families before age 3 so that we have all the paperwork done, all of the evaluations, that when they turn age 3, there's no lag in services. They actually come right to preschool with us. And why this is so important is early childhood lays the foundation for everything. Your brain development, your learning patterns, everything. So we want to see these children early, so hopefully we don't have to see them in special education as they grow. And this brings us into one thing. Universal preschool is kind of the buzz in preschool right now. Universal preschool means free preschool for all, no discrimination, doesn't matter your income, where you live, and there's only actually 3 states that fully implement a universal preschool where they come at no cost. Some states are actually talking about universal preschool, and what that is like, oh, anybody can come, but it's only 3 hours, and we don't provide transportation. And I just think it's something that we all need to be aware of, because we moved from kindergarten to universal kindergarten, and preschool is following that same movement. And as a district, I think we just need to educate ourselves and be aware of the future and what is coming this way. And then, any questions?
What somebody had asked me, and I wanted to let you speak to it, is when you look at what we're doing, and thank you very much, very informative, very helpful, insightful. When there is motion and there is more attention on the preschool options, duration, and everything else, like, what are we doing, like what you just shared? How does that compare to other programs around here?
So in the state of New Hampshire, it's actually a broad, we're seeing everything. So some people are trying to do this full preschool, universal. The ones that I've talked to, it's not full day, and they don't provide transportation. So when you look at that, a lot of the students that we want to be seeing are students that, like you saw in the survey, almost 50% need a full day preschool and need transportation. So we could offer a free 3-hour, but I still think that we would be missing a huge portion of the population. Speaking to it academically and appropriateness for the children, 3 hours of preschool, a lot of them when they go home are exhausted and tired.
Right.
So it's offsetting that preschool. There's a shortage in Seneca right now for childcare. There aren't very many facilities. So I think it's, when we're talking universal preschool, we also need to talk, okay, what's the childcare component of preschool and the transportation component? Other schools, some are offering full day, and a lot of them actually, one school has a childcare part, so they transport them in and then they go to a childcare portion until the end of the day, so they're only doing the 3 hours of school. Some are doing kind of different schedules, so they call it a full day, but it's a 9 to 2. But the biggest struggle is transportation for preschool along with the rest of the school district and meeting those hours.
Sure, that's helpful. Thank you. Did you want to add anything to that?
No, Amanda, thank you. It was a great presentation, and having been in other districts that have taken their preschool students and you're basically subbing them out. And so you're finding other preschool programs in the community. And we're paying for those kids with that preschool program, which can be very expensive.
Right.
And so from a cost efficiency standpoint, Karen and I went back and we did some looking. When we were in Newport, we were sending 2 or 3 kids out to preschools at a cost of close to $90,000. Now we're educating, I think, what is it, 15? 19 at the cost of about $92,000. And we're doing it all in-house and doing a better job at it. So we've talked a lot about universal preschool and what that looks like, not only from a standpoint of offering something to our kids, but the economics of that as they move forward through a K-12 district as well. I don't know if Tara wants to add anything.
No, other than the revenue piece, then 90 to $100,000 we're spending right now is actually offset by the $21,000 we're bringing in.
Right. So it's actually paying less now than we were.
Right.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tara.
Questions from the public? All right. Very well done. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to school updates, starting with Blaze, the student rep.
Hello everyone, sorry for being late.
Hey, Blaze.
Start off, I'm just glad it's spring, I'm sure everybody else is. The snow is melting, birds are chirping. The students are starting to go outside, play softball, baseball, track and field. And this past weekend, the girls' varsity softball team and the boys' varsity baseball team was able to take their annual trip to Cape Cod, which is awesome for them, get some sun and vitamin D. And as for clubs, the Bee Club and the Environmental Activist Clubs are starting to take their students outside more often, trying to show the kids the bees and that were once covered in the snow, but now they can actually get to them. And also, just a little shameless plug for any high school students who are interested in playing rugby, they can join Smith Memorial Rugby Club. And recently, the high school had its annual lock-in, probably started around my freshman year or sophomore year, and it's just where students spend the whole night at the school with teacher supervision, of course, and they just pull an all-nighter doing games, activities, making food, and it's just a great social event. And on a more serious note, might be stealing this from Mr. Moynihan, representatives from the New England Association of Schools and Colleges have been evaluating Sunapee Middle High School this week, and I had the opportunity, along with another student, to take some of these representatives on a tour of the school and tell them all the great things about Sunapee and some improvements that could be made, and the overall good experience. And as for some community announcements, next Thursday night, April 11th, is Senior Project Night. This is a great night to support the Booster Club, which has a spaghetti dinner and Sunday ice cream sundae bar, and all this will start at 5:30 p.m. So please come to support the seniors, learn about the various activities, skills, and fundraisers they've done, and all the skills they've acquired and new things they learned this year. And lastly, on Saturday, April 13th, there will be the annual Father-Daughter Dance for the National Honor Society. This will be from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Sugar Gymnasium, and admission is $15 per family.
That's great. The Senior Projects Night is really something. It's really a community event, so I hope everyone is able to make it on the 11th for that. Thanks for the update, sir. When you're mentioning the students getting outside, I don't know if anybody that the last couple of days has been through town around 4:30, where we have John Reed think he's the only one doing it, has 44 kids doing track and had mats out back. We've been outside the last couple of days doing like burpees and push-ups and sprinting around the building. So if you want to see, if you don't get to see our youth in action, if you're passing through, it's quite a scene to have one coach doing middle and high school track, and he was pushing those kids.
It's not a work yet. That's for sure.
Grocery bills just shot up in 44 homes. Could we hear the update from SCES, please?
Sure, we've been busy. So our kindergartners recited some of their favorite Dr. Seuss stories for an audience of family and friends to celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday, and they had a visit from the Cat in the Hat. So they were excited about that. Our third graders have tapped some trees, and they've been collecting sap, which is then being boiled by a high school student for part of his senior project. At last count, they had collected over 100 gallons of sap, so they've been very busy doing that. We had a very successful math night on March 14th, which happened to also be Pi Day. Each classroom had age-appropriate math games, and we had other activities in hallways, in the library, and other areas. We had about 80 people attend that event. PTO is putting on Science Night tomorrow night here, and then we're following up with more science activities, a Science Day on Friday with all the students. And the spring production of Little Red Riding Hood will be presented on April 18th at 6.
Excellent. Thank you. A lot going on already. Middle high school update, please.
Blaze did a really good job today. I'll piggyback on a few things that he did say. First of all, as he talked about the weather, the seniors can go outside and eat lunch, but they essentially go out in September and October, and like April, May, and June. But we've got one student who's stubborn. It'll be like 5 below zero. It's January. He said he's going to go out every day this year. He hasn't gone out the whole lunch period, but Blaze, I think you made it, right? You've been outside?
My rule is I finished lunch outside.
Lunch outside. So he actually, he's gotten through the tough part. Now that he got this far, I had my doubts a couple times in January, but he got through the whole year on that. As he said, we've got senior project coming up. Really appreciate all the support we get from the community, the Lions Club, who does that for a scholarship. Really positive. NIAS came in, as Blaze said. They left today and just spoke so highly of the students and the facilities of the school. So just very impressed overall. Destination Imagination, again, won the state tournament. We'll go to globals again. So it's, we kind of have a little fun with it, but it really is a great accomplishment. We have the fun on it, and they're going again, but it really is a great accomplishment. But they won the state competition, we're in first place, and we'll go to globals again coming up in May.
Could you give a little more color to the Destination Imagination for new families? They just see that this little group from a little school wins every year, and it's hard to calibrate the significance of.
I'm going to let Mrs. Reed do it. Only I could do it, but she will give it much greater justice to that. So go ahead.
If you don't mind, it's just helpful because perennial favorites, but it's a fairly amazing accomplishment to do it even once. So if you could inform the public, that'd be great.
Sure. So Destination Imagination is a creativity and problem-solving competition. And so students can compete at a rising star level, like preschool and kindergarten, elementary, middle, and high school, and even college. So in those age brackets, and within that there are 6 different challenges. So it may be the fine arts, or a scientific challenge, or a community service challenge. And they're given this challenge, and they have the school year to come up with their solution to the challenge. And they present that in an 8-minute presentation that's prepared and delivered to judges. They also have a problem they have to solve on the spot called an instant challenge, where they go in a room, no one can watch them, their coach can watch but can't say a word, and they're given a challenge that they need to solve right then and figure it out. And they're scored in both those categories, and they're stacked up against other teams. So there's a regional competition in several different regions in New Hampshire. And the finalists from that make it to the state competition, and then from that, 2 teams in each of the challenges are given an invitation to globals.
That's great.
I think for this group, what's particularly significant is they've gone to globals many times. The last 4 times that they've gone to globals, they've placed in the top 10 in the world. So they were 7th, 2nd, and 5th in the world. So you're at the University of Tennessee this last spring, about 14,000 students competing in the, you know, hundreds of teams from China, people from all over the country. So I think they maybe don't even get what a big deal it is at this age. I don't know that they're getting the scale of that, but they're pretty excited to go for it again.
Yeah,
So thanks for supporting it.
they likely will understand it later, but just for families in town, as a fairly new family, 3.5 years, I had no idea that they were going. There were 14,000 from the world there. I just thought the scale was fascinating. Other families have been really surprised by that. We're very demure in how we talk about how our teams have done, so I just wanted to bring a little back to that. So thank you for the insight.
Also, just on top of Blaze as well, we had the student lock-in, again, amazing, it's all night long. I did not chaperone that trip, or that activity, but more than half our high school students were there. So 3 in the morning there. Did you finally go to bed at 3 in the morning?
Yeah, I had to work at 5:30, so.
Okay, so a lot of people, there are lots of different activities, but it just shows a lot of kids really enjoy the socialization, being in school, Friday night to Saturday, being with the teachers and their classmates. And then we also had a blood drive, and 27 pints were given, and 20 by the Sunapee students. So we're gearing up for a very busy spring.
Great, thanks for the updates. All right, Mr. Holden, superintendent's update.
So you can hear our schools have been very busy attending a lot of those events, getting into the schools, seeing a lot of great things, seeing Blaze outside, listening to the birds sing at 11:30. It's nice to see Blaze in the morning. Working on summer projects right now, doing some hiring, going through evaluations for administration and directors. Just real quick on the NEASC visit the last couple of days, kudos to Sharon Parsons, who is the chair of the subcommittee of the groups who organized the leadership committee of that. And just a great job by you, Sharon, and organization, and putting a lot together, so well done. And it's compliment again, as Sean said, just really high compliments. A person from Merrimack High School, principal from Exeter High School, and a retired principal from Cape Cod. And just had nothing but real glowing comments. Obviously, there is still work that's been identified by the school that they'll continue to work on, but just really impressed with our school, our community, the support from the community, and just our student body.
Great.
And then staying updated with legislation, a lot going on. We'll talk about that a little bit later, preparing for state testing, just lots and lots of stuff.
Yep, busy time. So thanks for that. So I speak for myself, as I can't speak for the board, but we're very appreciative of the voter turnout and the support from the community for the budget and the teacher's contract, all the time and effort that went into both of those. A lot of citizens, some here tonight, that were on the budget advisory committee. It's a pretty engaged discussions. Thank you, Kevin, for running that subcommittee. So high community engagement and great support for the schools and the teachers, and thank you for me, if you want to comment today. But really, it's a fascinating town to be on a school board. I was on a school board prior in Vermont, and it's just really great to see people who are supportive, they'll say it, and people who aren't might say it even louder, but we can find a way forward together in the best interest of the community. So it's great. It's a great thing to be a part of. I'm very appreciative, so thank you. We're going to get into action items. Some of these are going to need some explaining, and there's still quite a bit more in the notes. So we're going to move to some of the more straightforward ones to start. So I need a motion to approve the proposed certified teaching faculty positions for 2019 and 2020.
I will make a motion to approve the certified teaching positions for 2019-2020.
I'll second it.
All right, seconded for discussion. Questions, comments? Okay. So all in favor of approving the proposed certified teaching faculty positions for 2019-2020, please say aye. Aye. Unanimous.
Let's give you a quick piece on that, just so you
Yes.
have it. So that is because RSA 189-14A speaks to renewing certified teachers before April 15th of that year.
Yeah, I
So
should have
that's just
say
that
that.
process. So-
Right. Yep, thank you. I should have slowed down for that. Thanks for throwing it in. Next up is approve the proposed administrative positions for 2019, 2020. Do I have a motion, please? You may take as much time as you need to read and think. We'll have the whole board, we'll talk a little bit more next month when we're all here, able to be present, about sort of the role of the school board, role of the superintendent, sort of how the meetings flow, but in the interest of tonight, just for your first meeting. You need more time, ask for it, take it, and if you're reading, don't worry about it, we'll keep going. So, with that in mind,
I'll make a motion to approve the administrative positions for 2019-2020.
I'll second it.
all right?
And again, if I can just add, in 189-14A, the word the word teacher and principal are somewhat interchangeable.
Yep.
And so why they have to be done at the same time.
Yep. Thank you for that. So, all in favor of approving the proposed administrative positions for 2019-20, please say aye. Aye. Unanimous. Thank you. Next up, looking for a motion to approve the proposed graduation date of June 7th, 2019. I'll make a motion to approve the proposed graduation date of June 7th, 2019. Can I get a second?
I'll second your motion.
All right, any discussion? Straightforward, a Friday night, big night, particularly for one of our board members.
Be nice. Really nice.
It's a fun night to be there. So, no further discussion. All in favor of approving the proposed graduation date of June 7th, 2019, please say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, appreciate it. This one was more interesting with discussions. Let's get motions in a second. Hang on, folks. So I need a motion to approve the proposed 2019-2020 tuition rates. The second, we can talk about it.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed tuition rates for 2019-2020.
I'll second it.
All right, so for discussion and clarity, this is to approve tuition rates for K through 8 from $12,650 to $14,000 per year. For grades 9 through 12, from $13,500 to $14,500. So, pretty big jump for the bigger jump for the K through 8, and then what we charge the other districts that are sending their students here is market rate. That's a question that comes up. So you can look at the cost for what it is for us in a small district, and it has been for 100 years or whatever. The cost per head, you can look at that in the state reports that we can provide if you're wondering where to find those. And I'll have you guys speak next, but we have to find a responsible balance point on being accessible, charging as much as is reasonably possible from a market rate perspective. And that's why the difference of what you would see in the state report of what it costs to educate our students versus what we have for tuition students, there is a difference. That's the driver of it. But the tuition students bring significant revenue to the community as one of the only sources of funding for community other than taxpayers. I did that justice, or you want to add to it?
I think I'll let it alone. You did a pretty good job there.
Okay.
Just a little detail, and I'll let Kelly speak to it as well. Kelly went and spoke with all the other communities. We got an idea of where they're at, what those communities are offering to those parents, again, to be marketable. Based upon current enrollment, Kelly,
We have 34 students currently, 4 will be graduating, so with the new population next year, they'll increase that in about $20,000.
And I used to be able to rattle it off earlier this year. What is the revenue gain from the last time we had a revenue count on what those? It's like 382, I think it was 382,000, something, it was something like that.
Yeah, it was a little over.
300,000. Yeah, okay, I don't want to speak on the number, so it ends up being a significant amount of revenue for the school system. So, any questions on that for you, Andy, or Scott?
No.
Pretty straightforward. All right, so we had a motion and a second, so all in favor of approving the 2019-2020 tuition rates, please say aye. Aye. So that motion carries, that's unanimous. Thank you. We have a resignation of a teacher, which I'm happy to read this. Dear Mr. Moynihan, this is from Michael Robinson in Sunapee. Dear Mr. Moynihan, please accept this letter as a formal notice of my resignation from my current position as an English teacher at Sunapee Middle High School, effective at the end of the 2018-2019 academic year. I would like to thank you and the school district for the opportunity to be a part of this district for the last 7 years. So we're very appreciative to Mr. Robinson and his investment in the kids over the 7 years that he was with us. But as a formality, we have to have a motion and be able to accept the resignation. So since I just read it, motion to accept the SMHS teacher resignation. Have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Andy. Comments or questions? Okay. Again, thank you to Mr. Robinson for 7 years of investment in our community. All in favor of accepting that resignation, please say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Approve the proposed spending. I need a motion to approve the proposed spending of up to $30,000 from the SCES Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund for adding insulation to the attic roof of SCES. So I'll do a motion and a second. We'll have discussion and fill in the facts for everybody. I think is a good way to do it. So, motion. You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the spending for $30,000 from the SCS Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund for adding the insulation to the attic.
Okay, and I'll second. We've been in these meetings together and talked about this at length. So, do you want to go ahead and give an overview and we'll add color to this?
Sure. A year ago, we had an issue over the weekend with the sprinkler system in the attic here. It is a dry system, meaning there's a compressor that pumps air through the system. The attic in this building is not insulated. Unfortunately, the compressor, we had a leak in the pipe, the compressor failed. It pressurized the system and poured water down through the top floor here into classrooms, storing the floors, copiers, and some other equipment and some bugs. Luckily, insurance helped cover most of that. I asked Matt to look into how we insulate that attic so that doesn't happen again, so we can pressurize that system, meaning we can put water in it all the time. We still have the dry system there. The compressor seems to be running more and more and more. We have a lot of concerns about that. Matt came back with this number, and this is taking a look at our building envelope. Majority of that work is being in that attic area, throwing some spray insulation in, taking care of some of the cracks and the openings that are up there, making that tighter for allow us to pressurize that system to make that a wet system. Again, we understand that this building is being looked at from a facility standpoint. This is more about safety of children. I would hate to ever be in this building and a fire broke out and the sprinkler system didn't work for whatever reason. And the second part of that really is not wanting to come in on a weekend again or a Monday morning and find out that we're in a swimming pool in the basement because the water's been leaking for 2 days.
Right. So this is, and Andy, do you want to comment? Anything related to this?
No, it's just that basically all we're trying to do is make an envelope so that the sprinkler lines won't freeze and that it's actually going to increase the efficiency of the building, so we're going to save on some heat.
Yeah. So as the next steps for the community with this building is going to be a discussion. We'll actually have an action item